Based on the noise, I take it Spain won the European Cup. I don't know if you guys are aware. Congratulations, Spaniards. I want to talk to you today about knowledge graphs in cancer genomics, and specifically about the case of mutational signatures. I'm affiliated to various university hospitals in North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany. We've just recently started this work on building an ontology for this particular space. So what you will see from me today is I will give you a contextual introduction with some background knowledge on mutational signatures. Then I will talk to you about how we conceptualize the semantic relations in this particular bit of ontology. And also we will show you a proof of concept for a knowledge graph that we're designing. We know that exposure to certain mutagens causes mutation in the genome. These mutations are context specific, and that's important for this particular field. So exposure to tobacco, for example, may cause higher rates of G2A mutations, specifically when preceded by a C and followed by a T. So like the context before and after is relevant. Mutational signatures are a means of extracting these types of mutational patterns. And that's an example of a mutational signature. What's also relevant is that these mutational signatures may be, they're meant to be different depending on what the mutagenic process is. So they vary with mutagenic processes. So the purpose of creating the ontology in this mutational signature space is to map the relations in there. For the purpose of this talk, mutational signatures are data structures that are used for quantifying mutational patterns in cancer genomics. They are a useful tool in generating meaningful subcategories in cancer diagnostics. They can be used in, say, determining personalized diagnosis and treatment options. For this particular project, we're focusing on the cosmic set of mutational signatures. There are actually numerous methods of generating those mutational signatures, and they have different ways of calculating them. The cosmic set is one that is very well maintained and is often used in the literature. Specifically, we're only focusing on a subpart. Specifically, it's the cosmic single base substitution signatures in version 3.4, but it's important to say that there are others, and we actually want to prepare to integrate multiple ways of calculating mutational signatures into this graph. Why do we care about mutational signatures? What's been shown in the literature is that mutational signatures have relations with underlying mutational processes, and they have more explanatory relations with underlying genes and predispositions and syndromes. Also, they may have extra. They may have a more potential in indicating what's a promising therapy choice for a particular diagnosis. So specifically, we wanted to represent certain complex relations and organize and structure existing knowledge in this space. We are facilitating automated knowledge generation in the mutational signature space, and it's important to us to represent mutational signatures, the relations between mutational signatures and cancer types appropriately, also mutational signatures and treatments, and mutational signatures and etiologies. Examples of the types of statements that we want to represent in this knowledge graph and ontology are given on the right. So these are not actually real quotes, but they're taken from these. Well, they follow from these citations. So glioblastoma typically exhibits signatures 1, 5, 11, 12, 30, 40, for example, or signature 3 is associated with a homologous recombination repair deficiency. Also, patients with a homologous recombination repair deficiency respond better to platinum-based treatments. That's the type of relations that we would like to capture. The ontology is written in the YAL format, and the core concepts that are represented are given in the graph that you can see here. Of course, mutational signatures, the concept of mutational signatures is at the core, but also mutational signatures are conceptualized as evidence for particular treatment, and treatments are, of course, related to tumors and cancers. Other important classes are etiologies and, of course, other body parts. What I'd like to highlight here is that for us, it was important to relate to other types of ontologies. So actually only the blue-grayish mutational signature on the left is represented in our ontology, whereas the other nodes are linking to the National Cancer Institute's thesaurus. Now I'm zooming in a little bit. So mutational signatures, etiologies, and tumors are related with one another using the is associated with relation. That's a symmetric relation. Of course, tumors have an associated signature. There's also an associated taxonomy for etiologies. Etiologies may be substance exposures, chemotherapies, mutations, deficiencies, sampling artifacts, or they may just simply be unknown. I highlighted before that the current project is only for a particular signature type and a particular version, but we want to be open to also modeling more than just this data. So each observation is linked to a signature convention, and each observation is linked to a particular version and also has annotation about which version it first occurred in. Now I want to talk to you a bit more about what the mathematical underpinnings of the mutational signature space are, because they're also represented in the ontology. Mutational signatures are a type of non-negative matrix factorization. So I mentioned before that, okay, so we're looking at triplets and we're looking at the particular mutation context of given triplets. So they're generated by making mutational counts for a number of samples, and factorizing them into mutational signatures and signature exposures, where the mutational signatures intuitively represent which underlying processes are present in the data, whereas the signature exposures tell us for each sample how affected by a particular underlying process is. These concepts are modeled very closely in the ontology. So there's a class for mutational catalog, there's a class for mutational signatures, and a class for mutational exposures. Also, I wanted to talk to you about how mutational signatures are linked to its subparts. So mutational signature is actually a collection of values, and it's linked to individual probabilities by using a has-part relation, and that is linked to float literals by using a predicate has probability value. So the reason to make this ontology was to be able to represent knowledge like this in a knowledge graph. The associated knowledge graph was written in RDF format and contains the numeric value for the cosmic SPS mutational signatures, but also some metadata like given here on the right. So that's associated literature, versioning information, information about how sequencing was done. For us, very important information about how the etiologies were proposed, which etiologies were proposed, etc. Also, we're incorporating academic findings, like the little graph that's here on the left, that link particular mutational signatures to particular cancer types, and also selected unstructured knowledge that link particular signatures to particular treatment types. As we're querying the knowledge graph, so we're preparing for these types of queries for a given mutational signature, which cancer type is it associated with? So, you know, these are the results. Which signatures were added in version 3.1? Which signatures does bladder cancer have? Or which signatures have been confirmed experimentally? This is a work in progress. So the ontology currently spans a little bit over 1,000 triplets, and the knowledge graph spans about 170,000 triplets. It's queryable and it's linked to other ontologies. But of course, it's by no means done. What the plans for the immediate future is to align with other ontologies for the methodological vocabulary. So these may be BFO, BI, SIO, to of course test and validate with shackle shapes, document and release the data. But in a further step, what we would like to do is to improve the data coverage and include different mutational types. So as I mentioned, currently we're only modeling single base substitutions, but we would like in the future to also, of course, model all the types of mutational signatures that are in the cosmic set, but also relate them to other sets. So one of them is listed here. That's the signal set. That's also a type of mutational signature set. Also, further, we would like to explicitly model genomic location. I believe I already said that we want to align with the BFO and SIO ontology architecture. So in concluding, I believe that we have enabled querying in the mutational signature space, but we also facilitated cross-space integration, and we were able to map spaces to one another. I would like to thank my co-authors. Arnaud was sitting right here, but we also took this picture so you guys can talk to us. And I wanted to mention a couple of things. Our group is hiring, so in case you're interested in working in the mutational signature space, please talk to one of us. But also wanted to thank ISMB for funding my travel here, because I'm a recipient of the travel fellowship. Thanks, guys. Oh, I meant to say questions, please, comments, of course.
Yes, we have time for questions.
Yeah.
This is really exciting. I wanted to ask you if you got a chance to look at the NIH links and big data to knowledge projects data sets.
I have not. I'm very new to this space, and I'm very happy that you're telling me.
Yeah. I think they had a similar goal in finding the signatures for this.
NIH links, you said?
Yeah, links, LINCS. And then the other one is big data to knowledge. And I think the IDG project, has kind of some tangential data sets. I would be very interested in seeing how that may, correlate.
Yes, thanks. So I'm new to this space, so
that's great.
Yeah.
And so then I will also tell you to look into protein ontology to see how they modeled it. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Are there plans to do copy numbers based signatures and structural variations based signatures for these annotations?
Yes, the plans are there. Of course, the specific timing is unknown, but yes, the plans are there.
Will this be available in Cosmic too, or?
So I believe we will start based on Cosmic. Also, this is currently not released. The first big thing is to get this released. But then, yes, we will start with Cosmic and then also move to other types of signatures.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thanks. I was also wondering about non-cancer signatures, so like in cell lines, organoids, or even healthy tissue. There's plans for that.
So I have to say I don't know much about them. I'd have to think about them.
Okay.
Yes.
I think Cosmics just added a whole bunch of experimental signatures,
Mhm.
which many of which come from cell lines. So.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see.